We are live. What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? Let me bring up here Witchcraft Radio quick so I can talk to everybody.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
There we go. Am I on? I'm not on the YouTube page. I'm on the Facebook page.
That's fine. I'm on the YouTube page. I'll take care of it. All right, what's up, everybody?
I can see
Divine
them in the
Source.
comments here.
Huh?
Oh, I think I can see. I can see them in the comments over here too. So it populates on
Oh.
this. So
Okay. Cool.
for those that are live.
All right, so what's up, everybody? Welcome to Witchcraft Radio. You have Brian Lovering, Fern Arlock, the creator of the Grimoire of Arts and owner of the Academy of Sorcery. And then, of course, me, the Divine Sorcerer. And together we bring you Witchcraft Radio. Tonight, I want to talk a little bit about ghost hunting, paranormal, precautions that one should take when getting into this field. A little bit about what we do here at the Academy, as far as like not just the paranormal, but in the practice as well, things we get up to and certain things we capture. Um, I ran across a video today and was managed to get a clip to show you guys that what we play with is very real. Many of you out there that follow the paranormal have had experiences yourself. Some not so good and some not so bad. We like to experiment. We like to get to know these things that are around us, these things that plague us, these things that want to just have fun and play with us, kind of like Loki did. They're the ones I'm curious about, funny ones. Then you get cases that are dark hooded figures with red eyes that scare little girls, and well, we just don't tolerate them things. So then you call people like me to go in and extinguish it, exorcise it, banish it, whatever you want to call it, so that the little girl can sleep at night. And that's what we do. So if you're interested in learning a little more about the Academy, ghost hunting, how to apply hermeneutics and astrology and biochemistry and things like that into your life to better your life, to get a higher vibration, to raise your consciousness, this, my friends, is the very place you do it. Witchcraft Radio will bring you things that no other channel will show you, because we get deep into the dark, deep into the unknown, things where people get scared. We travel. We go there. We bring them things to you face to face so that you know them things are real and we ain't just pumping sunshine up your hiney. We're showing you the truth. How about it, Mr. Lover?
Oh, I absolutely agree, and you couldn't have said it better. Like the last couple years working with you, man, has just been an absolute blessing. And so to see this develop and to where we're actually able to talk with the community and get them to, come up in the comments, hell, talk about your paranormal experiences, to be able to work with you guys one-on-one, to be able to work with the students that we have now and the business leaders of tomorrow that are going to be coming out of that is just an astounding process of personal development that we're all on, and we're all walking that path, and we're all doing the thing, right? It's just we're doing it together instead of doing it in isolation and alone.
Right.
And that's all the difference. It's a bunch of individuals coming together to be a collective, not a bunch of people that are willing to sacrifice who they are to a collective. It's like, that's not the point. The point is, what can we do together to have the most fun with it?
Right.
And
that's the thing about starting this Witchcraft Radio is we don't have to hide anymore, guys. It's not like they're gonna pin us to a fucking piece of steak and light us on fire anymore. That was our ancestors. Society has got the wrong view of what a witch or a sorcerer or a mage or a druid is, a shaman even. Like, we've gotten so far away from the original ancient practices that Anymore, it seems that's evil, or that's against the mainstream media's view of what life should be. And so, with the help of you guys out there, maybe we can all come together for the betterment of our communities. Come together so that we can help those that are starving, or those that are hurting, or those that are just feel like they're backed in a corner and have no way out. Like their life is pushing them to a subject that has been kind of weighing on my mind the last couple months, but life has literally pushed them to the brink of suicide. I've met very many people that have had these problems. And when going through your practice, when learning these things, when becoming a witch, whether it's a dark witch or a light witch, kitchen witch, or herbology witch, whatever kind of witch it is, when you start to understand the Hermetic principles and you apply them to your life, that's the first step in synchronizing your chakras and getting used to the universe, playing with the energy that we here at the Academy play with. We don't just play with it, we get familiar with it, we understand it, we manipulate it. But in doing so, we apply that to our practices, and we know what times and herbs and everything to set up to communicate with these things. And I'll show you a little bit later what I mean. When you do a witch board session, you use a pendulum and the incense, the sigils, and the correct timing, you can actually call in not just evil or things that have never been born or your ancestors that were born, but you can also call in higher beings, angels, archangels, things of that manner. And I will show you that a little later on. So that's pretty much what this whole channel is about, is bringing you guys out, sharing your experiences, how it's bettered your life, what you can do after learning this to better help your community. Guys, our communities are in shambles. Our world is like turned upside down. People are indoctrinated and not wanting to listen. Our whole hierarchy system is fucking crashing.
Yeah.
When is enough enough? When are you going to say, I've had enough? It's time to make that change. Because honestly, and I can tell you from this year, even though I'm only one person, Brian's only one person, and together we're a little group, the change starts with you. We need you to stand up. We need you to be like, oh, it's all propaganda. I can be the witch I want to be with my little fairies and my trolls and have fun talking to trees while everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm grounding myself. I'm bringing myself back to the cosmetic energy. I'm realigning myself with the universe. I don't care what these people think. If they think I'm crazy, okay, they just don't understand the energy that we deal with to get rid of the bad and bring in the good. Like, this is an everyday part of a witch's life. It's not like I'm subjected to this lifestyle. I got to live this lifestyle for the rest of my life because I claim to be. It's not like that. It's something that you learn to evolve into. It's something that's in you that just comes out. It's a manner of a lifestyle that doesn't even seem like work, or doesn't even seem like research. It's just fun. You get into it, you do it. It becomes a daily habit of your life. You wake up in the morning, you stir your tea, and you do a little chant. And it's like, just did a little bit of witchcraft. I'm ready for the day. It's that simple. You make a meal. But you add all your herbs, you do your thing, you do a little chant like a blessing or a protection, then you eat the meal. Boom, you just did a little bit of witchcraft. People do it every day and don't understand they're doing it. And this is why we need to come together and come out. You got all these Christians out there, and nothing against them, but they're coming together. They're having their little parties. They're feeling good. They're thinking things are being accomplished. They're having that euphoric moment. Same thing with the Satanists. They do the same thing at special times of the year to make themselves out there and known. Why? Because they're not hiding it anymore. So why should we? Why should we wizards, us sorcerers, us druids, mages, shamans? We don't have to hide it. We're different, and we know we're different. And this is the channel to show it. If you're not afraid to be different, if you're not afraid to let people know what's going on in your life because you are different, this is the place to do it. This is the place to raise demons. This is the place to talk to things that are not understood. This is the place to talk to your ancestors or just get information from other like-minded witches that could better help you in your journey. It's a place to come and do you and have fun doing you while you do it.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's witches are always on the margins. They're the ones that are doing the jobs no one wants to do, or they're living lives no one wants to live. They're the ones that do it. So if you're living a life that you're not happy with, I'm going to get into business. Like we're gonna get down into some fucking weeds of what we're getting up to, because it gives us something to talk about.
Right.
That's so your business, what you're doing in the community. Are you introducing yourself as the job you hold for the hours that you work there, or are you your side hustle when you're not there? Right? It's that dual persona.
Right.
Witches don't have the luxury of a dual persona. They just are. They are the same thing in every environment in which they are placed, and they will continue to be so. And that's why they become problematic for the society, is because it doesn't fit into a corporate model. It works in small business. It works in a free marketplace. It works in 100 other ways so that the individual doesn't have to work a corporate job. But if they do, they have to conform to the corporate standard. And so their corporate standard becomes that persona that they embody. And so they too lose that ability to divide themselves from their job at a certain point. And so those two are witches, right? And so you have a whole bunch of people who are committed to their craft, so much so that they identify it in whatever ways that they're doing it, right? So if you identify as something, are you an accountant in your spare time? When you introduce somebody at the party, are they an accountant? Are they in subspace? Are they in whatever their environment is, right? I deal in toys, erotic stuff, 18, 21 over, like, it's like the things that I sell to people and the conversations I have on a daily basis would violate most HR compatibility profiles for anything in history. Like, the job I do is so ingrained in me to talk to people about their sex life. It doesn't have a division.
Sex is everything. So sex sells. You know what I mean? So it's a good trade.
Sell. Sex motivates, but there's also a problem with that too. Is it motivating people to cheat on their partners? Is it motivating them to wander? Is it motivating their relationships to come together more? And that's what's beautiful about it.
That's the thing, though. When you get into saying, does it ruin relationships? Does it do this? Does it do that?
People will ruin relationships. The sex keeps them together.
Right. Well, I mean, people have their own mind. It's in decisions. There we go back to mentalism. Your mentalism has to be game to understand that, there's a time and a place. You know what I mean? You incorporate that into your private time in a bedroom or into your private time in a ritual. Because, yes, folks, whether you want to believe it or not, sex toys are incorporated into witchcraft and many other practices. So, no, it's not just some freaky thing get done in the bedroom. It's used widely in other places as well.
And the historical applications of it, like there's a specimen in one of the cases at the History Museum of Erotica that's over there on Industrial behind the Fashion Valley Mall in Vegas. And it's a deflowering rod from the 3rd century. It's made out of ivory. Aisha's, the Institute for the Study of Human Sexuality, is a nonprofit that has more storage units across the country that are hiding people's lives, entire collections of homoerotica, trans erotica. People's collections of their porn get donated to this institution, and they keep it, and they block it off, and they put it into storage until one day maybe they can have a place where they can display it. so that that part of history isn't shunned. Oh, what? Shunned shit on the channel? Are we witches? What is this?
No, it can't be.
Oh, the fuck it can't. Oh, these y'all have no idea the shit we are cooking up. Like, this is gonna get fun.
If you remember any one of these channels, you'll be glad.
Yeah. So this is streaming right now onto the Academy of Sorcery page, the Divine Sorcerer page, and Witchcraft Radio. So we are in 3 places at once. So folks, say hi. Well, don't actually say it to the screen because I can't hear you. Type it in the chat box below. Interact. Like, let's do some super chat shit. If I can figure out how to make those buttons work at some point in the future. But
yes, let's get into the chat room here. Let's get to know each other. Let's
yeah, who's here? Who's watching? What's
show
going
what
on?
we're doing, man.
I just got off work, so if I seem a little bit like, selling dildos to people, it does get fun, but it's also heartbreaking.
Right. I mean, it's not a channel where you're just going to see us 2 dumb fucks come up here and talk. Like, we will have other people, some that are in the academy, some that are not in the academy, but still learning things from the academy. They'll be coming on. Like, there'll be other people coming on and sharing their experiences, their journey so far, and how it's impacted their lives so much as to where it's impacted people around them. See, that's what magic is, guys. That's what a sorcerer's job is. It's to alter reality, to bring things into manifestation, like things that you want. Like, you are the one that makes your own reality. It is you. You are the God. So therefore, you think, you create, you manifest, and it's there. It's your reality. It's called magic. That's what we do. And it's not really all that hard when you understand the basis of that said magic.
Right. And we've got the documentation to back up what I'm saying. We've got the documentation to back up what Mike's saying. The Divine Sorcerer on this channel is an embodiment of the goal that he sets for himself. And that's what's the most incredible thing about the journey, is because if that's the aim, and if that aim can be successful, there ain't shit that's going to stop him to do it.
That's right.
And he's service to others as the foundation of what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's lit. Like, that's just like, you can't fuck with that. Can't. With those occultists out there, and this is where I'm gonna pick some fights, right?
Get it, bro.
Because there is a nasty problem in the hoodoo and the root working community, and that's to hex other workers or personalities or whoever it is that's out there. It's like you lose reputation because people are learning about the things that you get up to or the things that you get asked to do.
Right.
And when I talk about the things that I do, it's with my students that I'm doing them with. They're in this shit with me as much as I'm in this shit getting these jobs so that I can teach them from these experiences. Is like, the stuff that we get up to, it isn't what you see in the Facebook feeds.
No.
It isn't this light and love and fluffy bunny bullshit. Like, I get asked to do some really ridiculous shit on the regular. And this is where I got to give props to our student Alex, who's not here with us tonight. Omen Star, Fang the Hypnotist, if you're looking for some good rap music, because it's a horrorcore rap. Like, it's some dark shit, but he's better.
Yeah, but it's really good dark.
So he's going to be fucking with the darkness, but he's going to be in a whole other like it's a different approach to it. Gives him strength and power instead of taking it from him. And so we get into this situation where he was giving strength to someone else via an exorcism. An exorcism? What? You mean your students do exorcisms within the first few months? You're goddamn right they do. You know why? It's because that's fucking field work. If I have to do them on the daily, they get to do it once every 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Because it's practice for the real thing. Stuff that I've either done or stuff that I'm doing, and these concepts and these stuff in the community. It exists. The real stuff exists. And if people have the stones within them, whatever they are, aligned, right, to know that this stuff is real and viable and they need a sorcerer's help, right? Sorcery is different from wizardry. How is that? Because sorcerers are in the shit immediately. We are on the field, in the trenches, doing the thing, trying to survive the thing while we're doing other things, and life is falling apart around us because we're still in transition from the last thing we tried to do, and we're becoming something new. Okay? Witches are those that can't separate themselves from that process in a positive kind of way. They're the ones that using the magic, right? But their whole life and everything is kind of
Still right.
screwed. So in order to understand the screwiness of how life goes, we have to talk to them. We have to understand the situations that people face, right? And the best thing that is about the job that I have right now is it's just a couple hours a week to help them out. It breaks my heart every day to be there because it's the same job that I should be doing in my own fucking shop that I need to get back open again, and I will be getting back open again soon. More on that to come. But the point is, tonight I had a customer who was talking to me about his money problems. He tried to rent something on Craigslist and he wound up getting screwed for $1,400 because the dude that he rented from didn't even own the apartment that he was trying to rent. So he lost out on money. Then he loses out on his address, so he can't get his new bank card shipped to him. And because somebody scammed him on his phone, he's now out another $1,000. So now he's negative $2,400 and can't get the rest of his money. And all he's living on is cash out his wallet and his car.
Ooh.
Right? And I understand that that's client information. That's that privileged conversation of what is happening to people in this city. There's no safe place for a mailbox. So if I can rent fucking mailboxes and figure out how to do a delivery system, right? Shit, there was a customer today who works at the post office, right? She's a beautiful lady. But the thing about it, she hates her day job. She loves what she's going to go do. But it's the people. It's the interactions with the way that corporate America does things to their people, or it's the way that they talk, or they don't cultivate it. You know, it's like these are sad people, but they're amazing when they're doing the thing that they love, which is generally trying to stay with somebody that they have an interest in. I wouldn't say love, I'd say lust after heavily, you know? So when you find yourself in a situation like that, how do you deal? Right? Like the perspective I'm bringing to this community is these conversations that you wouldn't otherwise have with normal people, because generally most folks work a regular job where they're not having these conversations. And so if that's not shit you want to hear, like, just wait. I'm sure something else I'll say will piss you off. So welcome to Witchcraft Radio.
Fucking A, man.
Oh, man.
But that's the thing. This is the place to be you. You know, we don't, it's not like we're going to have a lot of drama, because, like, that's not what we're about. Like, we get rid of the drama, we bring in the peace.
Yeah.
That's where we want this to go. We want like-minded witches, wizards, sorcerers, those that are doing their practice every day, those that are wanting to learn and, you know, rise up higher in their practices. We want them as well. Even those that don't even know about it, but want, you know, have some kind of feeling like you're something special. Reach out. Let's see why you had that feeling, why you're so special. Let me tell you, Brian can tell you, before I started, I kept telling Brian, I'm different, man. There's just something different about me. I feel like I've been reincarnated. Like I've been in a past life before. Like, we're not going to go through who I thought I was and everything, because it gets way too personal, and just I may have been, but things came out to where, we did the birth certificate or the birth chart. We did the analyzation of who I am alchemically and physically, and like decoded myself all the way down to where I went and did the blood test, the 23andMe, and like that was the final step. But in doing all of that, I found out why I was attracted to Celtic magic, why I had strong ties to the Sumerian religion, because I have Mesopotamian blood in me. That's the Mesopotamian part of me, drawing me towards that without letting me know. So the steps that I went through prior to becoming a sorcerer was kind of like my home mythology without me knowing. Like, it was just weird how everything worked out. But I would have never known that if I wouldn't have gotten into this practice and learned hermetics and biochemistry and astrology and all that other good stuff that people just shove off to the side that they don't think is important, which is very important.
Right. It's there's these experiments with doing the REM hypnosis, the just listening for hours on end these particular frequencies, right? And one of the interesting things that I'm going to probably do social experimenting with is, for hours and hours and hours, I'm alone. So come visit. I'm not telling you where.
If you know it, you'll know
you have to
where.
know me in person. If you found this channel because you're one of my locals, great. Tracy, if you're watching, what's up, girl? I'll see you at the meeting in the morning. But when these things are being done, if I'm alone and I have the opportunity to put the YouTube channel on for that 4.5 hour drone noise of the 475 hertz into an alpha state, you're goddamn right I'm going to start doing that. It's like I've had my fun for the last two days or so, or the last couple of shifts that I've worked, and I've been able to change the radio, like today and yesterday, right? I've been able to determine those things, and some of the old like training has kicked in. I'd like to be able to be better than I was at what I did. So I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to listen to that shit when I don't want to listen to that shit, because I know I need to listen to that shit anyway, even if it drives me nuts. I'm already fucking nuts, so who gives a shit?
I found out that when it comes to listening to like them tones and them voices, them melodramatic rain sounds, wildlife sounds, and things like that, them certain frequencies, I like to do it better as I'm laying down for the night, as I'm getting ready to go into that REM sleep or that deep sleep, because subconsciously it goes in, and whether you realize it or not, it has an effect. You might think, oh, I'm just falling asleep listening to it, but when when you go through the academy and you understand the hermetics and you understand the principle of vibration and rhythm and how it plays a role, you understand that them vibrations and them frequencies that are entering your mind while you're at a REM sleep is actually having an effect on you. It's healing your body in some type of way. Whatever that frequency is, whatever that frequency helps, that part of it, it's actually healing without you even knowing, because it's doing its work. This is how the Egyptians and Sumerians and those back then used their practical medicine. It was through the hermetics, through the vibration, through the herbs. All this in conjunction is how they made themselves better. That's why you see on all the stones things about astrology and medicine and things that happen, because they were letting us know.
It takes a lot of time to carve stuff into stone. They had papyrus. They had other forms of media, but they needed something that would last.
Right.
So, and again, this is the neat thing about doing research and having multiple aspects and people working on these research projects with us, is that it's not just what I'm saying or what the Divine Sorcerer is saying. It's what's being done, right? Like, again, props to Alex for doing that exorcism, but he fucked up. and he knows he fucked up, and he apologized for fucking up, right? The situation at hand was dangerous and unstable. His friend was his friend's personal business. Anyway, ends up in rehab, right? Probably will never speak to Alex again, but Alex did his job. He severed the attachment that was necessary to put his friend back into rehab so that he could get the help that he fucking needed.
Right.
Because there was nothing else available to him other than an exorcist. So good job, Alex. But the energy that he had to raise in order to be able to do that, if he didn't have that intermediary produced in a way that would have worked, he put his entire family at the fucking risk of whatever he was trying to pull out with whatever rushed method he was trying to construct based on his initial experimentation. In the same kind of way that when the Divine Sorcerer began the Witchboard sessions, there was the before he did it, and then there was the after he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, could you roll clip? Could now be the clip?
I can roll the clip, guys. Hold on.
Yes, let this be the clip.
All right, so when incorporating your practice in with said paranormal research, it becomes interesting, guys. Really interesting. Because let me tell you, when I did paranormal research and things before, I used tools. I used my senses and things that were around me. I have to honestly say, ever since my rite of transformation, things have gotten wild. And I don't mean just wild as in like, oh, crazy fun. I mean wild as in people are seeing shadows that are around me. Like my roommate, who has a dog, was sitting on the bed, him and the dog watching TV, and the bone, this dog's got a big dinosaur bone. It's like from a pterodactyl. I kid you not, man. This thing is freaking huge. It's got like meat hanging off it. Freaking beast. Anyway,
Text messages, so I'm right there with you, man. Like he was like freaked the fuck out.
This bone's sitting on the floor, and they're on the bed watching TV, and this bone just raised up and does a 360 and slams back down on the floor. Dog gets up and runs after Bone like somebody's trying to play with him, but there's nobody there. My roomie messages me. He's like, "Are you doing anything? Like, are you doing magic?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm opening a couple gates and doing a couple conjurations. Didn't think you'd notice." Yeah, shit's getting active, man. I noticed. So that's just, some of the stuff that could happen when you start playing around with these energies. And then at times it can become interesting, like when you first learn the witch board and how to incorporate yourself with these energies. Here you're going to see me for the first time using a witch board properly by getting instructions from Brian through the academy. This was my first attempt. Let me show you.
This was so cool. And I really don't want to stress that whole proper thing. It's like, if you get the incense right, if you get your correspondences right, if you get the correspondence, it's a rule of Hermeticism, for fuck's sake, people. It's not anything to do with proper this or proper that by some fascist bullshit standard. No.
The law of the universe. The
It
principle
is.
set in motion by the higher ups. Like,
Right.
Man can't fuck with these principles at all. No matter what they do, ever will they be able to even just tinge them. Like they're untouchable. And that's what makes them so valuable and priceless.
Right.
All right, here we go.
Alrighty. Oh man, I'm just digging on what happened with Mike and his latest developments. Like, the Divine Sorcerer was able to pull off some really ridiculous shit lately. And as a matter of fact, I will share it with you so you have perspective on what it is that I'm talking about. Yes. This was from this last week when I was teaching Mike on how to do a witchboard session. We went through, well, watch the way that the conjuration works. See if I can get this to do. If it doesn't freeze. Oh, everything's frozen. Here we go.
Replay that. Replay that. Replay that, please. Can't say for certain, but it's kind of funny. It showed up right as I was at some point.
Maybe I can make it straight.
Yeah.
No, I want you to keep it there. She does much more over it. Use the water as an amplifier for the vibration of the crystal. Crystal. All right, so the gate is open. Come forward and speak with me. Ah, there it is. There's fucking day.
Wait, I didn't even see the video was kind of choppy. What happened?
There is a little white light that goes directly from the aether into Mike's pendulum. What's the shit?
All right, so the gate is open. Come forward and speak with me. Ah! Right there. Ah! Ah!
So what was happening was we were in the day and the hour of Venus on Tuesday last week. For my time. For Mike's time, it was the hour of the sun on the first day of Sagittarius. The spirit that he was able to divine, A, B, C, all through the alphabet, through its full name, was one of the spirits from the Book of Angels, from the Judaic tradition that rules under the hour of Venus for the first heaven of December. And we tracked back the name that he got in divination in that hour to the 6th and 7th book of Moses.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. That's what's up.
And that was my first witchboard session. But there was so much that happened, like even before the witchboard session. Like things were already active. Like, you know, it's just it's an experience, guys. Like going from a normal paranormal investigator to then being the divine sorcerer and playing with these energies. It's an experience. It's a privilege, I would say, to be able to just even communicate with these higher consciousness beings. Like it's really all inspiring. Like I don't know any way other to put it than I feel special. Like I really do. Like, you know, people are seeing these things, people around me. Like my girlfriend, she was sitting on the bed the other day, we were watching TV, and I just saw a shadow. And I'm like, did you see a shadow? That's cool. All right. Yeah. Because I see them all the time. So I'm like, cool. And then not but a day or two later, I was sitting here with you, and Sandy was here going through her stuff, and I'd said about a shadow, and she's like, that's what was at my camper. Like I sent it away. She's like, you must have sent it to me. And I'm like, maybe on like that week I was mentally on. And that's another thing, guys, you got to watch when you get into this practice. You can send things to people unaware just by your mental state of mind. Like it's that fragile. Like it's that serious of a deal when you start getting into these things, that when you open these doors and things and then you get into a bad mood or something, that door is still open. You're pulling through that door what's basing off of your negative intentions, whether you're aware of it or not. It's coming through, and it's going after you. You know, if you're thinking of someone or something, or it's going after, like, you know what I mean? Like, case in point, I was upset, pissed off, frustrated. Like most people didn't know where to turn, only had me, you know what I mean? Like my mind was racing. Things were going on. Like I was getting angry, and then I'd get happy, and then I'd get sad, and then I'd get frustrated, and like all these emotions, not understanding or realizing at the time that all these emotions are creating and manifesting this dark being. Like it's that serious, guys. And there's proof out there. You can ask the ex-wife, you can ask the girlfriend what she saw. You can ask the roommate what he saw. These things are real. Very real.
What's up, Caucasian Sasquatch?
Caucasian Sasquatch. What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you over here.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm drunk, and he says, all right, man, drink it up. You drink, I'll
right. He's not on the projecting side of the camera tonight, so he gets to chill.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. So it's one of those things where when I stress that the behaviors of what we do is important, that this stuff has a foundation that is so deep and so profound. It's I'm not talking out of my ass, but at the same time, it's one of those things where if I seem like an irreverent reverend about all of these things, meaning I know the way that I'm supposed to behave, but I little bit, right? The reason is because I've been doing this for so long that behavior of that precision tires me out. It wears me out. It's a lot of to do, right? Like, ta-da, it's done. Like, that's the shit. Like, if my shit is done before I do the to-do. Like, it's my to-done list. Like, you're reading these things off. Like, oh, yep, did that. Boom, spell done, right? And that's the difference of what this stuff becomes. Because in the beginning, you have to do that. Because every thought is a fragile thought until you learn how to separate yourself from your thoughts. So the things that you think in your head are not actually the thing you are. The thing you think in your head is just the vibration of how you think you're thinking based on the thing you're feeling. The thing you're feeling is based on an energy generated by one of the gates, the planets. Right? We just call them certain things in a category. Right? And so if you don't want to feel that category of bullshit, think of a new one. Well, I want to try this energy over here because it's fresh, new, and raw. Okay, I'm going to go mainline creation here with this spell. And it's going to be so fun. And I'm going to get this endorphin rush because it's fun. So I'm going to do it better next time. I'm going to do it more precise next time because it's fun. The more precise I get it, the more shit just like is perfect. It's not because it's some fascist standard of crap. It's because it's specific to an intent that shapes reality and has already been observed to shape reality, right? It's like the stuff that we get really obsessive over, we have already done really badly in a bunch of different ways. So by the time you see us out in the field when the academy starts its actual like group in person stuff, and it's like it's got the physical location, this is like 3-4 years from now, right? And we're dressed in the robes or we're acting or behaving a certain way, it's because we've already done this shit in the interim, right? You've seen me, y'all, like, you go back and you watch the Academy videos. Those were me teaching Mike in my house over the internet, being as chill as possible to teach these principles as easy as possible so it didn't seem like he was learning anything. But I found the paperwork the other day, the 7 levels of all the different things that you did. Like, we covered it. You demonstrated principles of action. That Witchboard video was just one of several applications of his spellcraft. Where you see when you do it in the right time and hour, right? We did it at the first hour of Sagittarius when that time zone changed, when we had that strike, right? That amount of time and prep, it took us like 15 minutes just to pull the ingredients together. And it's like, oh, we're going to do a spell.
Yep.
It just turned out that it was the day of Sagittarius, that it was the Tuesday at the right hour of the day. For all I gave a shit about is we're going to do a spell and it's going to be at the right hour at the time. Sure as shit, synchronicity ends up, we're conjuring up the holy angel. How do we know? Because they're identifiable in the textbooks.
It gave us the information we needed.
Right. And this is where it goes outside of unverifiable gnosis, where the individual has the experience of, oh, they were these incarnations of other great mystics in the past. Once you key into the mystic current, right, you become part of that. Peter Carroll in the 1960s came up with the 163 current for the chaos current, so the illuminates of Thanatos, right? Other fringe magicians and cultists and things like that have applied that same principle. Austin Osman Spare's work through Kenneth Grant and the stuff that Grant was able to do after Crowley to be able to go into those different frequencies or into those different rays in the 72nd degree of the whatever the fuck is in his books. Tons of fucking crazy. Great stuff. Way tons of crazy. Is amazing for magicians because he actually, those are books on magic of a magician who was writing them of his personal experience, right? Those books are a magic of their own, but they're only accessible if you understand the lineage and the history of what he was doing, and you have all of his books at once, and you're copying back and forth, and it becomes a monstrous nightmare to read. Reading Kenneth Grant and respecting him as an occultist, two entirely different things. Night Side of Eden pissed me off so much because it wasn't linear. I had to have Outside the Circles of Time, and I had to have Beyond the Outer Gateways, and I had to have 4 other of his books I didn't fucking have. I had to track the fuck down in PDF, and it's like, is this the accurate PDF, or is this shit missing a page?
All right.
That was back in the early days of the internet, I suppose. Now things are easier to find, and nobody gives a shit about that stuff, it seems, anyway. So, raw dog creation, mainline this stuff, figure out how to become the extension of who you are, so much so that you can separate out those things you feel, those thoughts you think, and understand that there's a you that exists between them. That is neither the thoughts you think or the things you feel. You're the thing that gets to choose, is that an acceptable feeling?
Right.
That's the sorcerer saying, oh, these are the thoughts, these are the feelings. Do they match what I want my environment to be?
Exactly.
How do you separate yourself from space? Meditate. You divide yourself in consciousness because sure as shit, those that are new to meditation are not going to have an empty head. And that's the point, is you work your thoughts back to zero. How do you get yourself to a clear mind? How do you calm that thought that you think in your head? Well, what is the progression of that thought? You can leave yourself in a questioning discussion so that you forget the thought in the first place. And now all you have is these questions that you're asking yourself. So the questions override the thought and they don't allow you to actually think. And so therefore, even in that becomes a steady zero. Because then you can pull yourself back from that rabbit hole, and then you can observe yourself in that rabbit hole of, oh, there was a rabbit hole. I went a different way where I could have gone that way on that one thought that I would have thought, and it would have made all the thoughts not think the right thing, right? It's being able to observe this on purpose and in the field so that way when you apply it, you can serve the community to which you're applying it to, right? So when I'm having these conversations with customers about their sex life, about what's going on and how they're interacting with their partners or what they're trying to achieve with themselves or what they're trying to elicit, I have no skin in the game that they're telling me, right? But it's the identifiable pieces and the markers of, well, this customer is doing it like this customer was doing it, and this customer bought this, and they got a really good result from it. So I'm going to recommend the same thing to this customer over here, and I'm going to have that thought really, really fast. Interlinear thinking and being able to observe that on command and to be able to observe your reality in a way that's mutable This stuff is a tangible business skill side by side with a spiritual practice. Right? This stuff is real. More real than Hollywood would let you believe it is. It's like, oh, poof, there's a dude that shows up and it's full corporeal being because you made a conjuration. It's like, no, if you do it and your consciousness isn't right, you're not going to get the thing that's there. You're going to get its attention. And by getting its attention, is that going to be attention you want and can handle? Right? Is that going to be the kind of thing that will allow you to interact with this stuff in a way that makes it fun and safe? I have protections around my students. There is big magic keeping the students of the academy safe from fuckery, right? And by proxy, those people that go out and commit fuckery, I'm talking about like the individual who was on many drugs, on many drink, and decided to knock 13 times and bleed onto a doorway and blow out a candle midway via his conjuration, deserves to be possessed. Fucking asking for it. Like, hello, wandering spirits. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. I have no reason to call you up. I'm not doing this safely. I'm not doing this in a controlled way. I just want to see what's going to happen. And I'm not even going to finish what I'm doing. Versus, we're going to do it in the right hour, in the right day, on the right day of the week, in the right fucking month of the year. Is the moon right? What is the rotation of fucking Mars? Why does that matter? Because if these things are out of alignment by just a micro degree, when you're doing big magic, this stuff becomes dangerous. Like, we can talk about magic all day long. This is what we do, is we talk about magic, right? And then they start to do the magic. Like the rite of transformation. Like you said, it's a wild fucking circus.
Oh, you don't even know, man. Like I mean, well, yeah, you do. You're one that does know. You know.
I wrote the damn thing. I should know.
You watched me go through it. I mean, you seen like I even went further, man. I got up every morning and did my tarot cards and stuff. Like, I mean, I went so much deeper into what the regular students do as far as the rite of transformation, to where I did the tarot cards. I was guided by the information, and let's just put it this way, guys. The information that whole time going through the rite of transformation, Brian can verify that was all legit. It all happened, and it happened just the way the cards said it would. If it didn't happen at that time, it happened by the end of the day. Like, you know,
Yep.
It was a basic guideline of what I was going through, and like so much so as to, you know,
The
the
magic.
information, it was just unreal. Like, it, you know, I have no doubt in my mind that the practices that I do and the things that I conjure and the things that I talk to, and like, there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, at one time that thing had me afraid to talk to these things or to acknowledge these things. That's all they want, is to be acknowledged. Most of the time, you know, things disappear in your house. You feel like something, you know, you put this somewhere and something's missing. You didn't accidentally misplace it. Something's there. Something's letting you know, hey, I'm still here. Acknowledge me. I didn't leave you. I just lost that flesh suit. You know, my being, my presence, it's the energy is still here. Our ancient ancestors knew this, and the more I work with these things, the more I understand this other side of the realm. You know, it's just more fascinating. That whole rite of transformation. I didn't realize that going through that, coming out the other end, when I do my practice or when I go on these investigations, or, you know, the information that's coming in, like that one time, like we were talking and I was just bringing stuff out that was pertaining to what we were doing, but they were good ideas. They were tangible. They were things that needed to be done at that time to get us where we needed to be today. Like,
Right.
it was knowledge from a higher being passed down through the things that we were doing. It was magic, guys. This is the real magic. This is it's not Hollywood fakery, illusion, G3, whatever. This is the raw dealing with the energy. And sometimes, yes, it can be bad. Sometimes it can plague you. Sometimes it can hurt you. It can make you sick. Like, you've got to be very cautious when dealing with these things. Understand that you're opening a portal through this veil. You're bringing things that aren't to be in this world into this world. So therefore, the responsibility is on you to properly take care and to manifest it and send it, or manifest it and talk to it and send it back. Close the portal. Like, be responsible in your practices. Yes, you're gonna mess up. Everybody messes up. It's natural. You learn from their mistakes. Just don't be one that's irresponsibly doing it just because you want to do it and you think it's cool. That's the wrong thing to do.
This stuff saves people's lives. This stuff puts them on a path that's otherwise unlike anything that they would ever otherwise themselves have access to. This is the scary shit that exists beyond reason, because this is unreasonable. It is. We are. It is a connection of all the things. And when we do these works, it's not an individual that's doing this. It is a collective action of their entire organ structure, all the bacteria, all the life that goes into the human body to keep it going, right? All the different components of neurological tissues and consciousness. What is the liver thinking? What is the kidneys thinking? What is the stomach thinking? What is all of these things need to be in a sort of balance. And if you have singularity of purpose, you have a forced balance. It's not an organic, cultivated balance.
Right.
That cultivated balance is something that you can spend a lifetime to aim for. The work that Mike has undergone, the work that the students are undergoing, it's basically to force them to do the work as lazy as we can be. Work will get done regardless of the one whose hands are lazy. I mean, like, you don't want to do shit that day. Like, I wake up, I am all my first thoughts. What is the student? What's gone on when I've been asleep? What do I need to respond to? What do I need to? That's the first part of the day. The second part of the day is, all right, what needs to happen today? What tax forms need to be filled out? What fucking business forms need to? You know how boring that shit is, guys? I am so sick of fucking government fees trying to get shit registered, regulated, and taxed so that Big Brother gets its thing and all of this is done, right? And it's still not enough. Like, what we're doing, and I'm not saying it's a money problem. I'm just saying that it's their system is asinine and it's pretentious. In the same way, I hate the Golden Dawn. Like, fuck it, they made it too stupid. Like, unnecessary. You don't need to know how much to tax a titmouse feather from Norway. Like, you don't. Like, but we can calculate it now, apparently, because those are the regulations. Like, everything gets taxed. Big Brother needs a cut. Like, he needs his 10%. Like everybody else, they need their 10%. Like, gone. Fucking gone. It is 9.92 something over there at the shop for St. Louis. There's a 1% tax only paid to St. Louis for doing business in the city of St. Louis. St. Louis just gets to keep it. 1% off the top.
What makes them so special?
It's the city of St. Louis. They get to do that shit.
we need to make our own city, damn it. We're in the wrong business.
Right? The St. Louis County, the tax rates for the academy have been registered at 7.25%. So we save out on 2% tax for this stuff. So, it's like, to do business with us because of the geo-targeting, it's the city, it's the county I pay taxes to, not to the city. So that bullshit is avoided. At least for now, until we get a retail store set up here in St. Louis. So We'll see what fun shit happens. But that's just, that's just that whole like, well, there's these regulations that you have to follow. There's these things and these protocols. That same shit extends into your witchcraft and your magic as much as you would like to say, oh, it's just this crystal that's really cool and it's this fun color and I'm just going to keep it in my pocket and I have no idea what the fuck it does. And then you're complaining because you have spiritual problems or because you're too psychic or because your moods are unbalanced and you're carrying around shit that's meant to fuck with that. Carry Moldavite in your pocket for a week, folks. I wish you the crazy that follows. I sleep with fucking Fulgurite next to my bed. That stuff is weird as shit.
I sleep with obsidian.
Nice. Now that's a reasonable stone. Outstanding. So, it's when you're doing this magic stuff, when you're getting into it, and you're like, oh, it's bullshit. No, there's a reason. It's a science. Respect it. Don't dismiss it. Because there are those of us who live by it and understand what those rhythms do. And we see it in the lives of clients and students because what the individual who doesn't experience it, I've got 40 people I've either helped with a problem similar or they're experiencing some bullshit. And if folks like Mike are willing to step the fuck up, folks like Alex are willing to step the fuck up, Daniel, Guy, Doc, fucking all the people that are being helped currently, Tobias, for fuck's sake. Like, you see how this list is growing? And this is a year in. I'd like other people to be part of this conversation. I'd like it to not turn into a sausage fest, but, yay, sausage! Not to say there's anything wrong with Raven or Robin or Sandy or anybody like that. It's there needs to be more women at the table when we say these things too, because it's not just our journey. I'd love to get Tracy on and have her talk about, she runs Aunt Tracy's Place as her YouTube channel. She was coming out after her job today when she got home. She was going to go film her own podcast and see what happens with it, So it's like Aunt Tracy's Place for sure on YouTube. It's for trans women, for people that are in transition or need to know how to do their name change so that they get that money back, or that they don't have to pay an attorney all to do those damn things. They're going to have to sit there for the hours and do the labor themselves, but Tracy walks them through how to do that. And again, it's that, what's that craft that nobody's talking about? Well, here's a resource for the trans folks of our witchcraft audience that might not have those resources or accessibilities because other people are too to fucking talk about it.
Exactly. Another good channel here on YouTube, guys, is Caucasian Sasquatch. I'm going to be on his YouTube channel Thursday at 8. So you guys that are watching me or watch the video, tune into Caucasian Sasquatch. Check him out. Give him a like. Let him know that you see him on my page.
Absolutely.
Check him out and give him some likes, guys. And tune in Thursday. That's where I'll be.
What's up? Does anybody have anything they want to say? Anything to do? We got 8 viewers right now. What's up, everybody? Yeah. Great. Drop links in the comments and stuff too for your channel, Caucasian Sasquatch. That way, we can help.
I gotta make him a mod. I'm gonna make him a mod on the channel. That way he can just post links.
Great.
He's got good stuff.
Yeah. I've not had the social upheaval is insane. I haven't had any time to just sit and chill and watch my own stuff. It's always what's going on in the, there is no time to just, I need more time in a day. We need to make the days 36 hours, 72 hours, one day. Boom, one day. Can we do it? Consciousness for 3 days straight. Get all this shit done. But yeah.
Oh,
your caps lock spamming the chat.
right? fucking things getting stuck or
You're
upset.
that guy in the chat, all caps, like all caps all the time. Like,
That's me.
fucking love it. Well, all right.
No big secret, guys. I'm a gamer, so a lot of times my cat's stuck on. I'm really not yelling at you. I'm just stoned and don't give a fuck. My caps are on.
How's your channels with Mikey going? Do you want to pimp anything for him? Like, well, you know.
No, everything's good with him. He's been working a lot. He got 2 jobs, so he's like super busy. He's been working a lot, but he is back playing WoW. He's teaching his girlfriend JJ's son to play WoW now. So eventually there'll be like a WoW thing. But yeah, he's still got his Twitch channel. He's still doing Modern Warfare gaming. Like I said, I can't do it. I can't even get the gun up before somebody takes me out. So it's like I'm the king of dying in that game.
I mean, but that's one of the projects that you're doing. You're going through and you're helping him edit those videos, and you're doing the work that others, it's like that's what you put time to, and it's amazing. And your ability to do that, like to be able to focus in and listen to the audio and to be able to learn the nuance, it's an incredible skill, and that's one of those things that needs to be cultivated with the paranormal stuff. Is filming the videos is one thing. Going back and editing to make sure that you find all of the examples of where spirit was working at you is a pain in the ass.
That's the thing. People don't realize the editing aspect of the investigations and the thing. It's a lot more than like when you, all right, like, so I'm getting ready to do a Lancaster trip, right? I'm getting ready to go. Me and a girlfriend are going to go rent a motel for the weekend, and within that weekend I want to hit the Fulton Theater, and then there's some kind of like rock, I don't know, that's supposed to be haunted or whatever, but I figure that whole weekend we can just take time, go to the theater, maybe there's an opera showing or some kind of show showing. We'll go in and I'll introduce myself, who I am, and maybe they'll let me do an actual investigation that night. Well, that evidence, all the EVPs that I collect, all the, video footage that I collect, not just from one camera, but from 4 IR cameras and another camera and the camera that I'm carrying. Like, there's so much into just putting all that through, lining it up and putting it out into an edited video that the community can see and understand. It takes hours upon. I mean, just to do a whole EVP, like an hour EVP, takes me about 6 hours because I've got to put the headphones on and listen to what's in the background and not what's being said through the investigation. And then I got to pull that out and analyze it and, equalize it for the community. It's a lot, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? Because you guys get to see what people aren't seeing. You know what I mean? Like, there's no Hollywood fakery. It's not being pumped up to make you think that something's there when it's not there. It's raw there. Like, you're seeing it, you're hearing it, Like, you can look back on all my videos for Sprad. You can go to spradparanormal.com. There's a whole section on past investigations that I've done, up to getting rid of the hooded figures for that little girl, to going through some cemeteries, to catching a child's hand come up on my back in the middle of a cemetery, like all these things, So it's there. These things are real, and that's why I do what I do, so little girls can sleep at night, so people can understand these things are real.
Right. And this is where I got to figure out, how do we get, if you know of ways that we can get out into the field, if you've got paranormal things that you need to have Mike deal with and you're in the Pennsylvania area, get a hold of us. If you've got some creepy shit going on, bumping your night, you want to submit some content to the academy, or you want to have that shit resolved, and not the fire department is burning down the house because the house is too possessed shit. As great as those videos on TikTok and stuff are, because that was fucking nuts. You saw the one that Alex posted earlier, right?
Yes.
Yeah, where like the big wisps of shit are coming off that house, and it's like the fire department was the reason that it's getting burned down. It's like, what the fuck? No. without destruction of property, people. Like, a little bit of blood goes a long way. You'd be surprised. And that's,
Yeah.
you know, so that way, if you're the paranormal stuff is in Pennsylvania, up in Michigan, do you know what we have going on up in Michigan? We're working on getting into the HEMA certifications for martial arts training, so that way we can have a physical ed department. So the physical ed department's in Michigan, the paranormal department is out in Pennsylvania, and the sex department is here in St. Louis. Like, the sex education, adult industry stuff, then you've got the paranormal stuff, and then you've got the, it's like centralizing these endeavors is a bitch. And we can centralize when there's infrastructure. But until folks step up and are like, yeah, let's do something fun. Right? It's not always fun. It's sometimes scary. It's like, oh, you can't sleep at night. Well, we'll come in, we'll cleanse it, and then you can sleep at night, and we'll probably share a bowl or something afterwards, and barring your work in the state and local laws. But just saying, like, these things don't have to be isolating. You don't have to be lost when it comes to sex education and wellness. You don't have to be lost when it comes to your mentalism, your correspondence tables. You don't have to be lost when it comes to the social community you want to hang out with whatever bullshit is going on in your life. You can either leave behind or talk about, and we'll give you witchcraft to either give you something new to do or to fucking deal with it. So either way, you're good.
Right? Win-win.
So we could just keep going. But we're 1 hour, 11 minutes in. 111. I love it. Yay, numerology.
Right? Synchronicities, man. Synchronicity.
That's it.
But that's what we do here. I mean, a lot of what we do isn't seen in public, and it's a shame because a lot of fantastic, wonderful, paranormal happenings happen, and I love to see new students take what they've learned and just surprise the shit out of themselves, because then they come back in class and it's like, they're all giddy and happy, and it's like you see the enthusiasm, you see that, holy fuck, this worked, and I can't wait to do something. You know what I mean? I was that way at one time, didn't realize I was that way at one time. You know what I mean? But it's so much fun that you not even realize you're learning, man. But you are, and it sticks with you, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah, and it's and this is where, again, I'm gonna give one last oomph for you. If you want it for your business, if you want to be able to do that sort of thing, oh, what's that? The Academy can also fucking teach it. So it's that whole experience of immersion, community, cultivation. Whatever your side hustle is, whatever your form of witchcraft is, whatever your personal thing is that you're going through when you're watching this video and you see it, now when it's being live streamed, or 6 months from now when if we're on to something new, we're on to something else. It's like sorcerers are like the best ADHD kids ever, because there's always something new. There's always something shiny. It's like, whoo, what's this?
Something shiny.
Something shiny, right? And so we develop this always seeking something different, always seeking a new experience or new extrapolation on the old thing, right? That was your first experience of a witch board that we then showed to a group of students who are now at least a year in, or others have moved on to other aspects of the community or have walked away from their practice because they stopped doing it, so they stopped seeing results. Right? They went back to the normal thread of things. And yet here we are a year and a half, some change later, boom, on a public radio referencing the first event that you had, that event with them, and then back to the public like, we're doing the thing. Intralinear business in a non-linear way. These kinds of things are planned, but at the same time, it's organic. This is just the unfolding and the unfurling of how these synchronicities are everywhere. We're just trying to document it, call it out, be like, hey, you know, this coolest event at bowling the other day, right? It's crazy as shit, right? I talked about the lady who threw the gutter ball and got the strike.
I remember being there.
There was a kid who just pushes the ball, just fucking nudges it. It bounces off the gutter a bunch of times, gets a fucking strike.
Shit luck there, buddy.
Right? Again, we're trying. We're like gutter ball, gutter ball, gutter ball. This little 4-year-old just fucking gets a strike, man. It's like, Jesus, fuck. All right.
He had to show you he can hang with the best.
Right? Jeez. You know, it doesn't matter which way you come at it. Are you trying to do it? Are you not trying to do it? Like when the ball bounces in the gutter, like that happened to me once. It's like I got a strike at the gutter ball. Like, oh, it was a spare, but it was still a strike. It's not as impressive as the lady from the previous story, but it did happen. And it's these kinds of things that it's the observation of those things, the mental note of, oh, hey, if you throw a ball a particular kind of way, you can make it bounce out the gutter to still like accomplish it, right? But when you don't know how to do that on purpose, it's magic. It's there it is. And so that's the benefit of things like Hollywood, is because they can just show you that, oh, there it is moment, right?
Right.
If the Academy of Arts that they have, that gives the Academy of Word shows and selects the best of those kinds of endeavors, right? If we're going to get up to that level of examination of what would be the best of those kinds of stories that they're putting out into the world, we would have to sit through every single fucking hour of movie and cinematography that's ever been filmed to figure out, is this something that is actually fiction, or are they referring to spiritual truths using a fiction overtone in order to make it safer, in order to put it into the collective, into the hive mind, right? Is this stuff legit conspiracy theory? Is this stuff fiction? Is this stuff reality? Is this stuff being masqueraded as any of the aforementioned? But there's not enough of us to get together to do that yet. So when the time comes, like the other day, Harvey, the movie with the rabbit. You ever watch that movie?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Dude has a puka named Harvey, 6.5 foot 3-inch rabbit. Nobody can see it except for a few people in the movie. But it's moving doors and shit. Like, they got that part of the mythology correct.
Yeah, Hollywood does portray a lot of truth in their movies. It's
They
just
do.
you got to know what it is and what it isn't. Like, yeah.
Right. And then it becomes a mystery science theater where we're sitting there watching the movie play, and then we're those assholes there like, oh, this is that thing. This is that thing over here that they could be doing in a different way. Like, then it becomes the reviewer of the thing, and we cease to do the thing. And I don't want us to degenerate into that. As fun as that is sometimes.
It's
But-
funny because I'll be sitting here watching TV. I'll be watching movies or something, and when they start, like putting in there they're going and they're doing their seances and they got their altars and set up, and it's like I'm sitting there looking and I'm like, holy shit. They got the wording right, they got sigils right, pretty much got everything right. They leave one or two pieces out so that it's not complete, so that it doesn't work, but pretty much most of it's right.
Right. Well, when you're doing shit for film, it shouldn't actually work. Except
Right.
if you're a plucky fucker like me and got his artwork submitted in movies. Some of the most volatile bits of magic I've ever created are in the movie The Shade.
So go watch it, guys.
Well, has nothing to do with the movie. Has nothing to do with the plot line whatsoever. It's just art for the wall in the background.
Right.
They don't know what's there. Like it's one of those like hidden trinkets of like, yeah, those were photos of my spell book that a friend recreated. Like that exists. Like if you want to see real magic, like shit's in the media. And if that's happened to me out of just a side glance of an opportunity, you sure as shit know that is happening for countless unnamed magicians out there to be able to put into the community. So this is a chance for them to come up and speak. Right? This is a chance for us to be able to interview you. Like, what do you want us to know about you? What do you want to tell about your community? What do you want to tell about the world that you know of that is unknown to all of us? Right? That's where this is going to get the most fun. But anyway, I keep rambling, so I'm going to shut the fuck up and go smoke some weed. Stay safe and don't be evil, folks.
Later.
Later.